Hello, my name is Ralf Friedrichs. I'm an addiction recovery coach and the host of the Take Your Life Back Today show. As an addiction recovery coach, I want to cover something with you. Let me be clear on this. Just imagine being buried alive. You're in a coffin, but you know you're not dead. You don't know how to get out of the coffin. You tried banging on the lid, but nobody's listening. You tried lifting the lid, but the enormous weight upon the lid prevents you from opening the coffin. This is what it's like to find yourself at the lowest point of alcohol and drug addiction. You know you need help, you know you can't do it on your own, but you don't know where to turn. In reality, there are people standing by your grave. You just don't know that. You just think you're going to die. Usually, though, you don't think about death when you're habitually abusing drugs and alcohol. In order to feed an addiction, you have to be great at repressing the fear of death. I often ask you, my audience, did it ever cross your mind that while you were abusing drugs and alcohol, that maybe, just maybe, you might overdose and take something away from you that was given to you by God called life? And if that's not selfish enough, you will take your life away from the people that love and count on you most. Your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your husband, your wife, your children, or your grandchildren. With this, let me leave one last thought. Don't be like the person that I'm reading about on these index cards that waited and waited until it was too late. Instead, be like the person that picks up the phone and calls me at 844-405-HELP, and I promise you I will help you take your life back, for your life is gone. And there are other addiction recovery coaches, life coaches. Larry Geis from the Geis Academy, 516-458-2741 or www.odysseyconsult.org. Larry Geis and I always tell folks like you, doesn't matter where you've been, it doesn't matter where you came from. What matters is that you're here, you want help, you want a better tomorrow. Call Larry at 516-458-2741. Folks, don't forget to take your slippers off at night before you climb into bed and stick them under your bed, not by the edge, but under your bed. That way in the morning when you wake up, you'll be forced to go on your knees and look for those slippers. And when you do retrieve them, reach out to God with knee mail, K-N-E-E mail. Knee mail is your personal connection each and every morning for you to ask God for forgiveness and mercy, for you to thank God for another beautiful day to enjoy the waterfall and the stream running behind me, because for someone else it's too late, to thank God for a home and a family and clothing and food. Your personal instant messages between you and God should be each and every day at a certain time in a certain place, and what better place to do that than while you're retrieving your slippers? Knee mail, K-N-E-E mail, between you and God. Put on your slippers now and walk with God 24/7. I want to talk about airline pilot rehabs. There's not a huge, but there is some concern about certain pilots because they fly so much that they're taking either alcohol or drugs. Airline pilots consistently deal with high levels of stress due to tight flying schedules, safety concerns, and their responsibilities for hundreds and hundreds of lives every day on the job. This stress can build and lead to a number of physical and psychological problems, including reliance on drugs and alcohol as a coping mechanism. This drug and alcohol use, in turn, can quickly descend into dependency and addiction if left unchecked. For pilots facing alcohol and drug addiction, early treatment at a pilot rehab is essential. Admit it, it isn't all under control. Although enrolling in a rehab at the first signs of alcoholism or drug addiction, it is the best route to successfully recover from any of those two. But many pilots have trouble with even admitting that they have a problem. There are many reasons for this, including concern about their job security or a tendency to think that they have everything under control. The airline industry tends to attract the type of individuals who have a hard time admitting problems or seeking help for those problems, and it is especially true for pilots. Oftentimes, pilots see every problem as something they can handle through strength, will, and desire alone. However, alcohol or drug abuse rarely lends itself to this kind of do-it-yourself approach. The best route to complete recovery. Successful recovery from alcohol and drug addiction is almost always the result of participation in a structured program of detox and treatment. For airline pilots, the effectiveness of treatment is also increased substantially if the pilot enrolls in a specialized airline rehab. by addressing the specific issues that many pilots face in their descent into the recovery from addiction. These customized programs can give pilots the best chance of long-term recovery. Oftentimes they are also staffed with individuals who have worked in the industry and understand its unique environment and stressors. Many of these staff members have been through the treatment themselves as well and can advise you on the pitfalls to avoid on the road to your recovery. Choosing the best airline pilot rehab program. When choosing one of these airline rehab programs, there are a few things to look for. First off, make sure that any of the programs that you're considering is certified by the Joint Commission, formerly a Joint Commission on Accreditation of Healthcare Organizations, and it has a medically supervised detox component. Also, although each program has its own unique elements, time has shown that those based on the 12-step model are the most effective. In addition, make sure that any of the programs that you are considering has been certified in the state where it is located. This will ensure that you receive the best and safest treatment possible. I want to talk about Christian, if you're a pilot and you want Christian rehab instead of just your generic everyday. So this would be for Christian rehab if you're a pilot. A Christian drug rehab program allows patients to use their faith to help them through their recovery. Through all of life's obstacles, religious faith can be a tremendous source of inspiration. It can allow people to draw upon strengths they've never knew they had, and in addiction recovery is no exception, even for pilots. Christian drug rehab is part of the faith-based drug treatment philosophy. It's also so appealing because it gives the patient something on which to focus on, something to shoot for, and what better way, like I would say, to go through recovery is to lend or depend, I should say, on the Holy God. 95% of your recovery should focus on your higher power, 5% on a rehab center or a coach like myself or Larry Geis. When they go through this program, when you go through this program, it gives you something to live for. Patience, you extract that willpower from Scripture and from the faith to get through the difficult time of treatment process. Many programs offer quality Christian support through traditional rehab methods, church services, Bible study groups, etc. Christian drug rehab has proven enormously effective in the sustained sobriety of recovering addicts. Its combination of the 12-step philosophy with its concept of service to a higher power and focus on religious-orientated activities has made it one of the more popular forms of alternate drug rehab. What is the process of Christian drug rehab? The beginnings of the Christian drug rehab process are just like those of your traditional ones. A patient will undergo detoxification and psychotherapy under the supervision of a qualified health professional. After that, there are a number of methods employed in an effort to keep the patients clean and focus on the service to their community and to their God, such as a regular community church service, weekend retreats, group therapies, various community enterprises, fundraisers. Graduates of the Christian rehab often wind up becoming more active members in their church than before they started their program. The inherent philanthropy of Christian drug rehab. Since there are those without the financial means to enroll in a quality traditional rehab, a number of churches and faith-based groups have set up free Christian drug rehab programs as part of their efforts, usually acquired through a fundraising and a community-orientated event. Separate funds are allocated to rehab programs, assure that the care is every bit as good as the reputable traditional drug rehab centers. These programs are open to any addict willing to embrace the tenets of Christian-based therapy and exhibit a positive attitude toward recovery and personal empowerment. Don't delay. Get help with the power of Christian drug rehab. If If you or someone close to you needs help defeating their drug addiction and is willing to put their service to God before servicing their habit, please call me so I can refer you at 844-405-HELP, or you can go to the National Alcoholism and Substance Abuse Information Center, otherwise known as the NASAIC, which maintains a continuously updated national database of leading Christian drug rehab centers in the USA. Folks, pilots, doctors, lawyers, doesn't matter what your profession is. Drug and alcohol abuse, usage, doesn't care what your profession is. They just want you, each and every one of you. They want me. The difference is I've learned how to live a sober life in recovery, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. If you want to get help, you need to shout out, because otherwise you end up like the person I read about on here that waited and waited until it was late. Reach out to God. Utilize an email. On your knees each and every day. Ask God for forgiveness, guidance, and direction. Thank God for everything that you do have. Remember, your glass is not half empty. It's half full. And may God bless you.